Lamed Aleph, that's on page Samach Vav. And we started saying that the three madrigas of Oir that we have spoken, we have identified after Aliyah Zerotzen are the three inyonim of what's called Nakuda, Kav, and Shetach, which we already discussed. Nakuda means the point. This point represents the essence of the inyan. In this essence, there's already the potential for full expression and development of this essence. But at this point, when it's in a Nakuda state, there is no evidence of any developmental quality. There's only the Nakuda itself. The developmental and so to speak, the complementary elements of this Nakuda are contained completely within the Nakuda. And they're completely what's called behelem, in a concealed manner. So we're on the fourth line of Ois Lamed Aleph. The line begins with the Ayin, v'hakoil, all that is contained therein, all the pshitus, and all the developmental content in this Nakuda is bibchinas Nakuda lavad. He's in the Nakuda quality, no evidence of it at all. Bibchinas pshitus adayin, it's called pshitus. How does the word pshitus fit into this? It's bibchinas pshitus adayin, it is still in a pshitus manner. What does that mean in bibchinas pshitus? You with me? The question that one must ask himself when we think into this is saying that in the Nakuda there is an inherent complement, the inherent qualities that enable the Nakuda to be misvashit, to be expressed. And here is the question. Since we say the Nakuda is the bechinas of atzmius, the essential truth, why is it inherent in the Nakuda that it would express itself and go further to a further level of development? It's an etzem, it stays in the etzem. It's an important and significant question, and very revealing once we get into this. The principal answer or explanation of this inherent enrichment that is contained within this Nakuda, is the fact that the truth of this Nakuda. How does this Nakuda itself be identified? Surface.
Again, the point of the answer here is in where did the point come from?
Right. Where did this point come from? The point came from, this is the rotzei. In other words, there is an inherent element of movement within the point itself by virtue of what the point stands for. And this is why inherent in this point is a full complement that enables this point to be expressed and developed. Going back to the beginning of this ois, when the Rebbe gives the first illustration of a yud. A yud is an akud. Has no form. And yet, inherent in the yud is the vav dalet. How is it inherent in the yud? Again, this is bringing back to this question. Because the yud is there. Not for its own presence, but as a beginning for the next step. You take a pencil. And you put a point there. What does this point represent? It represents that I want to then from this point draw a line. The reason I put the point down is because I want to begin now. I want to give the line a beginning. The principle of this point is that this line has a beginning. Let's take this back to the original state that we spoke about many times before. Let's say you have an ink spill on your page. The whole page is full of ink. It's full of points, full of lines. But there is no expression, no rotzein identified with it. All the lines are mixed together. If you want to have an identified rotz, you start with the point. And the first thing the point tells you is, I have a point. Wait a minute, you will give me a chance and I'll express it. And this point exists before it exists. It exists in my rotz. What does this mean? What did Yasna say? If it begins from a rotzain, means that it has an essential beginning. It begins on its own, like we said. It is not a response to a need. I mean, gave the mashal, the example of serving food in a buffet style, or serving a person his individual.
For the mashal, the nimshal was that Ratzon has no origination.
And Ratzon is its own origination.
Is there anything else we can say about that except that nothing precedes it? It's its own. There's no basis for it. There's no
external need for it. It creates its own reality. Clearly, it's rooted in a reality that is super expression. I'm saying, Matzu Rishon. But in terms of expression, they said the first expression, first moment of expression is the Rotz.
This to say that it's rooted in his super reality is like saying it has a context, just that it's outside of our purview.
Do it again. I missed the word.
It's saying that it does indeed have a context, just that it's outside of our perspective.
One would think that this is correct, but this is what I described just now. But it's not really correct. The reason that it's outside of our perspective is because this context is beyond context. It's an essential to it, like a Matzu Rishon, a first being. A first being. What's the context of a first being? Okay, so let's go back. In the Nekuda, there is inherent all the complements of this Nekuda that eventually enable the Nekuda to be expressed in kav and shetach. And it's contained in the Nekuda. And the reason it's contained in the Nekuda, because the Nekuda is there, Nekuda has the force of the Rotzain. This is why there is the full context. Except the kav and shetach are completely concealed. And this is why it's got to be b'chinas pshitus. What does the pshitus mean? It is not there as a presence. It is there by virtue of the truth of its origin. And the only reason I know that there is that complement there is I made a Nekuda. I made a Nekuda. I initiated it. What is it? What is it about? Like you said yesterday, you said, give a patch on the table. Okay, at the end of the fourth line from the top. Kav. And then there is the kav that follows it in the Nekuda. What?
And just like you two. What we're about to do now, we started with the emphasis of pshitus, that we should focus on what this.
You like the word pshitus. I noticed it many times before.
Ooh, I didn't know that. I want to see it. Okay.
Why do we say that in the Nekuda, within the Nekuda is everything behelem, bebchinas pshitus. I explained why within bebchinas pshitus. How is it there bebchinas pshitus, in the bechina of pshitus? Because it is not there as a presence. It is there due to the origin of the Nekuda, which is the Rotzen.
That
Nakuda already represents a statement. A statement means that it is not in its original state, but a statement is being made. Inherent in the statement being made is potentially all the means of which a statement is going to be fully expressed.
inherent in this is pshitus, inherent in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is like pshitus is almost like implies like a, so to speak, a pregnant state that something is about to evolve.
Right. So pregnant means that there is some kind of a protrusion, external identity. Whereas in pshitus, in the nakuda, there is no external identity at all.
Do we have a muscle for the way that,
For what?
the way that what's coming later is there in state of pshitus? Is it like
A home
has all furnishings,
has all the furnishings, everything.
even when it's empty, it's like that?
Even the rooms are not defined yet.
This we have a yud and a vav and a daled. The question is the vav are all three letters representing this first madrega of Ur, like the Eser Spheres HaGenuzos, or is it just the vav and the daled?
That's just like it has been presented by a yud.
By a full yud, by all three letters in the yud?
Yes, but all you see is only the yud. So it's like gnuzis. Gnuzis means it's concealed.
Is that the point of drawing attention to the vav and the daled? To say all you see is the yud itself, even though it contains these other two?
Right.
Oh.
In other words, as we said, everything is after the rotz, which means it is not there just to be. It is there to be and represent the being in a full complement. But at this point, it is just the statement of being. Okay?
So in the world we cannot relate to such as.
That's right. I said, in the world there is no etzem. The best example, like we said, in the world we have a human being has an atzmi reality. And within the human being, for the human being, a home has an atzmi, is an atzmi element.
Yeah.
To the extent if he doesn't have a home, He's not a human being in the real sense of the word. It's an amazing thing.
Atmi, in the sense it's given to him. Not that he, not it's not his to have developed. It's a gift. Is that what implied by Atmi?
No. Atmi means that he is a true reality. But you get that reality only if it's given to you. That we saw that human being is a reality, but because the Creator gave him that reality. Just to come to finish the statement, the Creator gave the human being mitzvahs that are reflective of His own mitzvahs. Such as Shabbos, for example. That gives him a completely different reality. Brings him up to the Creator's level, reflecting the Creator rather than the created. Okay. Soon we're going to be okay. V'akav. Let's do the end of the fourth line. V'akav, this is the next madriga. A line. Hu b'chinas hamshocha v'gil. This is the element that's called hamshocha v'gil, and bringing forth gilui means expressing. As we all know, that a point has no dimensions. A point is a conceptual reality. It's very real, but it has no dimensions in terms of identifiable presence. The kav has a hamshocha v'gil, an expression. Rak, except. Shehu b'chinas hamshocha hiyulis adayin. It is a hamshocha, but it's called hamshocha hiyulis. Not a factual hamshocha, but a hamshocha in essence. An enabling hamshocha. V'hainu, which means to say, shehakav, let's learn a little bit inside. Shehakav, that the kavim sheyesh bei protim b'his galus. Even though that in the kav there are details, b'his galus, and the details are being expressed. B'kol mokim, yet still, hareihem b'bchinas pshitus adai. The protis are in a pshitus state yet, or b'bchinas chasidus.
What about the cloud?
Yeah. Things is chasidus, and the total union together Shabbos. Let me, okay, we have to interrupt. I just want to. A point has no dimensions. A line has only one dimension. One dimension does not give it a presence. But it has dimension.
And wait, the line has expression.
Has expression. But not a presence. Not identifying presence. Because everything that it's expressing is contained in an internal thing. It's a potential. A real presence is only, like we say, 6 dimensions. One dimension is only an illusion. That's called Yuli. Okay, we have to interrupt.
We wouldn't say it's 2 dimensions because it's up and down.
No, it's not 2 dimensions, it's 1 dimension.